same with all the three drivers in the Utronic. Piccarello and Niederhauser very, very strong as well. Mirko Bortolotti here firing it out of the source. It's amazing how quickly they go through the gears. All the gear ratios fixed in GT3 cars, along with every component of a GT3 modern day. They're homologated, so that means the manufacturers have to lock them in, present them to the FIA, and then they can only change them for safety reasons, which happens very rarely. Or when they do an Evo, for example, the Ferrari 296, at the end of a 3-year cycle, will do an Evo to update some of the components they're not potentially happy with, doing 66 kilometers an hour at the end of the Kemmel Straight. So those cars have to be geared for short tracks, long tracks, and here at Spa is right at the top end of where they go gear ratio wise, as we see the glowing exhaust on the rear of that Utronic Porsche.
Right, down to Brussels then goes Sven Müller. Made his name in the one-make Porsche Championships a few years back, where he was winning Super Cup, Carrera Cup, Germany. But again, it's very hard to find a championship that has a Porsche in it that he has not raced. He's been racing in British GT, hasn't he, this season as well, with great effect, and always a man to watch. Right then, Fabian Schiller is the race leader. 4.5 seconds split his Mercedes AMG from the rest of the pack. Franck Pereira is in second place, and then in third at the moment, it is number 50, which is being driven by Arthur Leclerc. In fourth, Joseph Loke in the McLaren, and fifth is 48 Lucas Auer in that man filter Mercedes then, as the cars work their way now on through lap 121. 563 is the current record distance. If we can beat that, and I'd be surprised, but if we can beat that, we'll have a new distance record on this configuration of the Spa circuit. And Fabian Schiller on lap 111, I think possibly while we were talking to Jessica Hawkins, did the fastest lap of the race. That was after the resumption, wasn't it, after the green flag? So really for him, that was a rare opportunity to have a clear racetrack ahead without having to worry about traffic.
Yeah, and that's a big jump forward. There's only 2 cars in the 17s. The previous car was Benji Gove to the 17.8. Interestingly, he was at the lead of the pack when a safety car came back in, and he could do it. But yeah, Schiller's up there, 17.5. He's nearly 4 or 5 tenths clear of every other car out there. As we look at that 59 car, still getting hustled from Lucas Auer behind him. Some of these track limits starting to get close, but they will be reset in 14 minutes. Every 6 hours, track limits reset. 6, you get a penalty, and at that 6 hour, you go back to 0. We've got a few cars close. The worst offender, P17 at the moment, Lecoutier in the 26 Santalot car is on 5. The leaders, all very clean. Schiller, in fact, 0 track limits so far in this race.
So further down the order, there's a good battle going on for 37th, 38th and 39th places, which doubles up as the lead in Pro-Am. Greg Survey, Tony McIntosh and Bob Yuan all fighting amongst themselves. We were saying it goes dark quite quickly here, and you can see that now because the headlights taking on far more of an effect. 32 going through shot, Kelvin van der Linde, and there is number 12, Ferrari. That in turn coming out the other side of Lecombe. That's the Rinaldi car, Christian Hook, Felipe Fernandez-Laza, David Perel and David Irigon, the drivers of that. That should be a car that gets to the end with a good result in the offing in terms of its class position.
Yeah, every driver in that car, the sort of shiniest of their category allows. So
yeah, that's right.
They've maximised the driver line up there, which is the name of the game. Not always easy with the finance that the car has to entail.
Now, perfect timing. As soon as Neil Verhagen leaves the booth, Faisal Al-Zubar gains a place. He's just got ahead of Maxime Martin in number 9 Mercedes. So fair play, because to get past Maxime Martin around Spa, got to be pretty tasty. Faisal Al-Zubar, who came out of British single-seater racing, gaining a place. Now, that's the race leader with the illumination across the top, the sort of piping, and that's partly so fans can identify the car, but crucially, so that the pit crew can. They know which set of headlights, which set of lights coming down the pit lane is the one they're meant to be leaping out and stopping and going to work on. So more and more the cars have these differentiations for the pit crew to notice, and equally sometimes find the car controller in a different coloured overall set, so he stands out from the rest of the mechanics. You know you're aiming for a guy in a, for example, bright pink set of overalls, and when you find him, that's where you stop.
Yeah, and some of those mechanics have to be lunatics to jump in front of the car at the right time, so any help they can get certainly is
Now, what about this Aston Martin? In 6th place, Marco Sorensen. There's a bit of a stalemate there, because so evenly matched is everybody at the moment that gaining a place is not that easy. But now, the field just starting again to settle down. He says tempting fate, the climb up the hill out of Radion, but the order is stabilising. How many cars do we have on the lead lap? Well, it's still a very, very large number. They're pouring across the line, so I can't yet answer the question. But it's going to be something like 48, I would propose, all on that lead lap right now, with Andrei Bukovov's 46, even a couple more behind him. Now, the Ferris wheel is not only changing colour, it's also able to blend into a moon. How about that for art?
I did media studies at A level, and that would have got me an A star, wouldn't it? That was beautiful.